What's up, guys? Neil over here. Talk a little Sorare MLB for this upcoming slate starting on June 2nd, game week 19. We're going to talk about that slate. While you're coming in, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification button so you get alerts when our shows go live. Kind of an interesting slate here. So we don't have any Coors Field on the slate. I'll take a look at what we do have. I already made a lineup with Greg. We went through and made my limited pro lineup, but we can take a look at what some of the better spots are on this upcoming slate. And of course, I start by just looking at which games do we have, which starting pitchers are we facing, who are the matchups for the starting pitchers we want to play. So starting with looking at Friday, obviously Corbin Burns. If you have a Corbin Burns card, great matchup with the Reds. Not the best ballpark in Cincinnati, not the favorite place to pitch there, but Corbin Burns, the kind of pitcher who can do well anywhere. So that's not a bad spot off the start there. Also standing out, I mean, obviously Justin Verlander always looks good. Not the best matchup with the Blue Jays, but somebody you can play. I have a Zach Wheeler card. I'm just going to play that one. He's facing the Nationals already. He's an ace in a great matchup. I think Zach Wheeler, kind of a no-brainer if you've already got the card to play it. Probably worth picking up as well. But I already had one. So I'm going to be playing my Zach Wheeler card. I won that last week in one of the limited contests, won a Zach Wheeler card. So I think this is a great spot for Zach Wheeler. Definitely willing to play that one. Luis Castillo, don't love the matchup quite as much. I do already have a Luis Castillo card as well, so I think I have him in my lineup despite the tough matchup. He's obviously a very talented pitcher, so he can get it done against anybody, but not the same kind of great matchup there. But somebody you can play here. As you can see here, Colorado is in Kansas City, so we don't have a Coors slate. Usually that's something that I like to target when we can find a slate that has a lot of Coors on it. Not the case here, but yeah, so probably not playing my Rockies bats in Kansas City. Outside of those options, I mean, yeah, Merrill Kelly against the Braves, kind of a tough matchup. You can still go there if you want to. Probably not going to my Dodgers bats here against the tough Yankees pitching staff. Kind of a harder slate to find bats that I really like. Let's see if there are any teams that, if I did have the bats, are there any bats that really stand out here? And I don't know that there are. We do have one thing that stands out is Tampa Bay and Boston has a double header on Saturday. So a little bit of a bump to the bats in the Tampa and Boston series. They might get 4 games, whereas all the other teams just have 3. So a little bit of a boost there. But outside of those, I guess the Phillies look pretty good against the Nationals pitching staff, not one of the better pitching staffs out there. But kind of a tough slate for finding like absolutely fantastic spots for bats because you got teams like the Marlins and the A's, like not the best pitching staffs, but also not the best bats. So it's kind of a pretty wide open slate here, I'd say, in terms of bats. But we've got some great pitching options. Looking at, so this is the games for Friday. Just a 3-game slate here. On Saturday, haven't actually looked at this. Greg was looking at this one a little bit earlier. Nobody really standing out here. You could go to Andrew Heaney if you want to. A little bit of risk there, but obviously has some upside. Yeah, Sonny Gray. You can always play Sonny Gray. Not the best matchup against Cleveland, but certainly not the worst either. Can always play Garrett Cole. Obviously, tough matchup with the Dodgers. Darvish against the Cubs. A little bit of a revenge spot there for you, Darvish. Don't hate that in Petco Park. I can play some Darvish here. And then, of course, Spencer Strider. That's the kind of the cheat code in the limited contest. If you have a Spencer Strider as a relief pitcher card, you're going to play him. I'm playing him in my relief pitcher spot this week. You can obviously go out and buy those. If you're playing the limited contest, you can go out and get yourself a Spencer Strider relief pitcher card because those are about as good as you can get. And then, of course, Zach Eflin also, if you want to not quite spend it for Spencer Strider, but want to have a starting pitcher that you can play in the relief pitcher role, Zach Eflin, another great option there. But generally, I'm trying to find starting pitchers that I can play as relief pitchers in those limited contests. In the common contest, I don't think that's as easy to do, but at least in the limited, you can kind of find those. And then finally on Sunday, we've got Alcantara going up against the A's. Kind of a nice spot there. A lot of not the best matchups in the world here. Joe Ryan, obviously you can play Joe Ryan, but again, against the Guardians, not the best spot in the world. Kopech has been great lately, and now he's facing the Tigers. We talked about that a little bit on the live show. Looks like a great spot for Kopech, who seems to be kind of coming alive lately. He has, I think Greg said, 29 strikeouts in his past 3 starts. Yeah, you'll take that any day, especially against the Tigers. So Kopech, somebody you can probably get for fairly cheap. Somebody you might want to target there. And then of course Zach Allen, you can always play despite the tough matchup with the Braves. So plenty of good pitching options here. What we ended up doing when we set my lineup, I'll show you what it looks like here. We got Zach Wheeler again in that matchup with the Nationals. Looks really good. Spencer Strider starting in the relief pitcher spot. These two were kind of no brainers for me. And then we did make a little Philly stack. They were playing the Nationals. Thinking about going out and get myself a Trey Turner as well. Currently, I just have the 3, 4, 5 bats for the Phillies in my lineup with Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos. Got Brandon Lau. He's got that 4 game series with the Red Sox. That's obviously helpful. He's obviously a very talented bat. So don't mind Lau as a one-off there. And then Luis Castillo, we did put in there. I'm a little bit hesitant thinking about maybe I'll go out and, as I say, get the Trey Turner. Maybe I'd rather play Trey Turner in the Philly stack rather than going to Castillo against, kind of dangerous uh, Texas lineup. Might go to Trey Turner here instead of Luis Castillo, but there's a good chance I'll just stick with it too. It's a starting pitcher. He's talented. If he gets 8 strikeouts, that's 16 fantasy points on So Rare. Get some points for the innings, etc. Probably good enough. So I might just keep it there, but I might consider going to Trey Turner. But that's what we ended up doing today, going to the Phillies. Honestly, as I said, I don't think we have the best. It's not the most straightforward slate. Like we don't have Coors Field. We don't have any like incredible bats in great matchups in great ballpark kind of situations. I do kind of want to look at what the Michael Kopech is. I mentioned that is he's playing the Tigers this week. He's been doing great lately, so I kind of want to see what the Michael Kopech limited price is. So I'm just going to look that up real quick. That's somebody you might want to consider going out and getting. Yeah, very cheap. $7 for Michael Kopech, with that 2% experience points there, 3.5% here for just $10. So generally pretty good pricing on the Kopechs. That's probably somebody that if you don't already have a starting pitcher that you like in there, Kopech certainly somebody that I would consider buying for cheap, especially with that 3.5% experience for just $10. Or if you just want to spend $7 for 2%, that's going to work too, because he should be able to get some rack up some strikeouts against those Tigers, and of course eat up some innings. So I do like that buy quite a bit. Kind of want to see what the Trey Turner price is too, because that's one that I think that I'd be more inclined to add to my stack. All right, so that one's a little bit more expensive. It's $50 at a minimum for a Trey Turner card. Down here we got this one that's just $44. So not the most expensive card out there. Would complete a pretty nice Philly stack there for me. So that's maybe something that I'm going to think about a little bit. But that's only if you're doing a Philly stack. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy a Trey Turner unless you are doing a Philly stack. You're obviously a good, very, very good bat that you can play in the middle infield spot. So those, kind of helps to be able to play Turner as far as positionality goes. But I'm not going out to buy it unless I'm playing the Philly stack, which this week I'm doing. So maybe I'll think about it here. But that's going to be my general approach to this. And I'm playing Phillies. There are obviously other stacks you can consider as well. You could go to Kansas City at home against these Rockies pitchers. Not the worst spot. They're just not the best stack in the world. That's it. That's the downside there. Not the strongest stack. You could just try and stack up this game, this series, Tampa, Boston, because it is a 4 game series. It's obviously an advantage that you have over every other series here. A lot of different ways to approach this slate. Again, though, if you haven't already signed up for So Rare, you can do so for free. You can start playing for free in the common contest, and that's just I'll show you. If you go play upcoming, so I can't do it now, but when you sign up for So Rare, use the link in the description. When you sign up for So Rare, you're gonna get free cards. So you're gonna get a salary cap. You're gonna have a salary cap, and then they're gonna show you a bunch of different cards with salaries associated with them, and you can choose your cards within that salary cap. So whatever cards you want to start with, and then you can start playing these contests. These are free to play. So as long as you have the common cards, which again you get for free when you sign up, you can enter this minors contest, this common all-star contest, training sandlot. These are all free contests to enter, and in these contests you can win. You see here, you can win 200 limited cards are being won in this minors contest. So you enter for free, you can win cards that are actually worth real money that you can sell on the secondary market. You can collect, play in the different contests. A lot of different things you can do with those limited cards, but you can play for free when you sign up. Highly recommend it. It's a really fun way to play fantasy sports. I, of course, made the mistake when I signed up of not choosing the best common cards. So while I, recommend it, it's a lot of fun. Don't make the same mistake that I did, which is just not really spending a lot of time, not choosing the best plays here. I think I'll go with Victor Gonzalez here. I'll set a lineup real quick. So we do have the Red Sox in a 4-game series. I've got some Red Sox cards, so I guess that's helpful. Yeah, I don't even have a full lineup I can play here. So not the best for me here. I should probably go out and swap some of these cards out. You do have daily swaps, so I'll probably go do that. But I'll just submit this lineup for now. Come back and edit it later. But highly recommend signing up. Pay a little bit of attention when you are signing up because remember, it is hard to acquire new common cards. It's different than limited. Limited, you can just go out and buy whatever cards you want. The common cards, you're stuck with what you got, except for you can win new cards in these contests. As you can see here in these contests, they have 100 common cards, being another more common cards here. So you can win common cards in these other contests. And then the other way is you can swap out. So, if I look at my cards, I can go to card swap, use my free swap, and swap out cards and try and get new cards to make my lineup better. But generally harder than the limited contest. So when you sign up, do pay a little bit of attention to the cards you're getting because again, it's a little bit harder to acquire new cards than it is in the limited contest. So check it out if you haven't already. The link is in the description of this video. Good luck this week. Let's go out and make some money.